Okay, so we are back at it after a little hiatus. I'm not too sure if this is going to go on YouTube or if this is going to go on the Kodacast. We just got back from our second SEMA trip, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to really collect my thoughts and share with you guys a bit of what happened and what the trip meant for us. So we were in SEMA for 1 week, and this particular trip we had 11 of us that went up to the trip. A few guys for the first time, Aaron, Hugh, and David. And I think the thing that made the trip and will always continue to make the trip very special is just being able to not only have these experiences together, but to learn and grow together. First year was really overwhelming for a lot of our team. The show is so massive. There's so much to take in that it was hard for us to kind of collect ourselves and really be able to take in what the show had to offer. But this year, being it as our second time, Joa went into the show specifically looking to see how other people are laying film. He was coming into the show studying the craft of how he could potentially step his game up by seeing what other people are doing. I know there were moments where he spoke to other installers. He was hanging out with the STEK Black Label guys as they were wrapping a R34 front bumper, and just seeing them in action gave him a lot of perspective as to where in his journey he was, but also how much further he had to go, and he was really excited because of that. So that was something that Joa focused on for this particular trip. And then, you know, myself, I did go to meet a lot of people and, you know, try and build relationships. We spent some time with STEK and got to learn more about the new line of products that they were debuting. But I think for me specifically, I wanted to come to the show to find some inspiration for our FK8 build that we're going to be revisiting in the new year. With coming out to this show, I wanted to really focus in on the smaller details, the hardware that the cars at the show, the mesh itself. Those are the kind of things that I wanted to take back and implement into the Type R. Having those different perspectives, coming in with a team, like we were able to take bits and pieces back, and I think that's the beauty of going together in a group like that. We got an opportunity to go to our traditional spot, which is Carmine's, and, you know, really have a wonderful family dinner together. Got a chance to talk to the guys about what we had experienced and really share and explore why we go on trips like this. And it really is for everyone to definitely step outside their comfort zone, but also for all of us to really experience and look at what's possible, because there's so much more outside of just Ontario. There's so much more of the GTA car scene, and going on trips like this allows for us to experience it together. The second highlight for SEMA, when I think back on it, is definitely trying to find inspiration for other things in terms of the direction that Kodawari wants to go. And we stumbled onto a booth called Gentech, and there was a C8 Corvette right out front, and I think the Millennium Jade vinyl wrap on the car really caught our eye. And as we started inspecting and got, you know, a little bit more intimate with the car, we were able to see the beautiful, high quality wrap job. And, you know, I've never really been a fan of vinyl wrapping, but when you execute it that well, and it's done with that much thoughtfulness, it makes such a difference. And that car was incredible. Not only that, but the car had its own arrow on the car, and after speaking to Andy, the builder for that C8, he had just debuted his kit. I think it involved around like 35 pieces, and everything was just so high quality. The fitment, the finish of the carbon, but most importantly, the reason why I love the tuning world so much is that you can take a blank canvas, like the base model or the chassis of a car, and for a lot of cars, they don't look that great from factory. And being able to run with your imagination and really transform the car into something that looks great, I think that's what Andy was able to do. Some of the features of the kit that really stuck out to me was definitely the rear end of the car. That perspective of the C8 never really sat well with me, and he was able to kind of really clean it up in a way that flowed really nice. The exhaust, there was a lot of inspiration from the LFA, and I thought it just was very cohesive through and through. So that was just specifically the car. I was already imagining what I would like, how my interpretation of his kit on a C8 would be, and that's where my mind always normally goes. And it was fun to kind of like let my mind wander in that direction. But then when I took a step back and I got to see the booth as a whole, it was an amazing booth. I spoke to Andy, and he said that they had just put that booth together. There was two floors. Well, as you go upstairs, that's where there was a meeting room, but there were two other really nice builds that were surrounding that area, and everything flowed so well, from the aesthetics of the booth to the quality of the cars, even to the clothing that Andy was wearing. Like it was all so on point, and it gave me a lot of inspiration as to where I would like to eventually get Kodawari to one day. Because we do a lot of events, coming out and meeting people in person and experiencing these shows is a big part of what we already do. And seeing someone who has gone to this level and the collaboration that he had kind of put together with Gentech, because his specific shop was called Label Motorsports, and they focus mainly on a lot of, I would say, modifications and builds, but they were able to collaborate with like a tech company like Gentech and put together like a full presentation, a full booth that just was spectacular. When I spoke to Andy, he said that the collaboration, like being at the show, he wouldn't be able to do the things that he was able to do without collaborations like this. And that really hit home for me, because collaborations are a big part of Kodawari's aim. We know if we want to do a lot of the cool stuff that we want to do, doing it collaboratively as a community, as a team, is the direction that we want to take. And Andy had mentioned that, hey, now this is my 15th year at SEMA, and I'm here every year, and I'm bumping shoulders, and I'm meeting people, and just being here is the most important thing, because all the collaborations that he was able to be a part of later on in his career, it wouldn't have happened if he wasn't there for all those consecutive years, just showing face. And that's what I kind of reminded myself, is that we want to be here every single year. We want to continue to show up, and those opportunities and those cool projects are right on the other side of that. And you just have to have the commitment to continue to put the work in, to show up, and understand that it takes time, right? And we're here for the long haul. So just hearing that from him, it again wasn't anything transformative in terms of changing the way I approached my direction with Kodawari, but it just reassured me that we were on the right path and the potential of what staying on the path long term could lead to. So that was really cool. I think the last highlight was meeting Matt from Obsessed Garage. So Matt has always been a big inspiration for me. Back before Kodawari started, I had stumbled into his YouTube channel, and he was modifying his CR S2000 at the time. And watching him build that channel, watching him quit his career in finance and pursue Obsessed Garage full time, taking that risk and watching it unfold into what it became, really ignited a flame under me in terms of, hey, this is actually something that I'd be open to trying. His ability to educate as well as weave in garage design is something that really resonated with me. And all of those factors just added up to me deciding to start Kodawari. So Matt was an integral part of designing our shop, you know, and this was actually the first time that I was able to meet him in person, because he was at the Ride Tech booth for a meet and greet, and because we were at the show, I was able to just, you know, make some time to go see him, and it was really nice to finally be able to talk and connect with him in person. And we actually ended up going to dinner. And Matt had just recently lost his voice, I think about 2 days into the show. So I was coming into dinner kind of expecting to talk a lot about like where Obsessed Garage is going, but we sat down and he's like, now, you are one of the first garage design projects that we were a part of when Obsessed Garage's that part of the business was kind of taking off. He specifically said that you have always been someone that's very mysterious to us, and I would love for you to just really share your story. I want to hear what Kodawari is all about. And yeah, that kind of caught me off by surprise, and I took that opportunity to really walk him through the story of who we are and why we do what we do. I was able to really connect with Matt and his team, and we left that dinner. Well, we finished that dinner, and they looked at me and said that was very inspiring. They said that they wanted to learn how to build community, and they would potentially send someone up to one of our events to learn how we build community. And it really felt like a full circle moment, because not only is Matt someone that I look up to, but it took 5 years for me to finally meet him in person. But it also took 5 years of making a ton of mistakes, and took 5 years of stumbling through this journey with Kodawari to really have an understanding of who we are. So I was able to sit in front of him, and I was able to really confidently tell him what we believe in, what we're trying to do, and who we are. And I think that really resonated with him and his team. And I think about it, man, if I had met him just a year earlier, I don't think I would have been able to leave that kind of impact on him. Just because I think just a year ago, I was dealing with a lot of insecurities. I was dealing with a lot of uncertainty. And that was, you know, things kind of have a way of working out and things lining up the way and when they're supposed to. And that moment just felt like a really, really big moment for not only myself, but with Kodawari. But yeah, that was a special dinner. Kind of wish I took a photo, but it's okay, because I really told myself heading into this trip and just in life in general, sometimes to just be present and soak in those moments. I want to live a life that I can recall and communicate to you guys through a piece of content like this, and not get too fixated on trying to capture every single picture, every single moment, and being okay with that. So, yeah, that was probably be the top 3 highlights and something that I wanted to share with you guys. It was a pretty magical week, and it's crazy to think that we spent another week in Cali. But that's for another video, and this was specifically just for the SEMA recap. So I hope you guys enjoyed following along. Ever since we've gone back, it's been really nice to hear from a lot of our clients and our fans that they really enjoyed just like the written posts that we put up on Instagram. And it's always really humbling to think that you guys care enough to follow along as to what we're doing. And that's something that we will never take for granted. And as things grow, as things change, hopefully we can continue to put these videos and share our stories so that hopefully you guys can find the inspiration to go to your own SEMA trip or potentially start your own version of Kodawari. But that's pretty much it. I'll end it off here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.